Welcome back to the Pod of Greed
2026 edition.
Maybe a few weeks late.
A few weeks and even a day late even, but we are back. It's been a really rough couple of weeks in the new year. I think it'd be safe to say.
Oh, yeah. So Crush Card virus, crazy, but Deck Devastation virus,
Yeah.
oh boy, Eradicator epidemic?
It's been bad.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of the sickness you guys have heard about, is going through the United States, but we certainly got it, and completely separately too. Like I was home for the holidays. I think I caught something while I was traveling, and then I got it's been. I ended up with COVID, basically.
And I didn't catch what Paul had. I was coming down with something the day I saw Paul for the first time in 2026, so I was already sick.
Yeah, it's been rough. If we sound really bad today, that's why, but we really wanted to try to get this week's podcast up so we could get going.
We got to get this year started. It's weird not doing the podcast.
I was very upset that we missed not 1 but 2 weeks of podcasting. I was very displeased with myself.
We somehow kept up the podcast every week.
138 straight weeks of podcasts, and we finally missed 2 weeks. Not 1 but 2 weeks. I'm livid.
It never felt like we were too sick to get it done.
Which is actually saying something, because anyway, the point is we're feeling a little bit better now. We're slowly getting back into the swing of recording this and recording videos. And it'll hopefully all come back together soon. But for now, hope you're all having a wonderful week. There's so much to catch up on, truly.
Man, I don't even know where we start. Ooh, I know where to start.
Okay.
Put your ones up.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good way to start.
Premiere gang, we need to see you.
Yeah, we have missed you all. It's been so long. Hopefully you guys also enjoyed that last episode with Alex. I thought it was a fun.
Oh my God, I forgot that happened.
Yeah, I know. It's been so long. Also, I am starting a Pot of Greed clips channel. I think I tried to do this once before, like a year ago. It didn't work out. This is going to actually
collab with the clips, right?
Be a legitimate thing.
You're going to collab with the clips? You're going to put a verse on their next album?
No, not that kind of clips channel. But there will be basically just sectioned off topics that we discuss on a separate channel. It's just a good way, they say, to, kind of gather exposure, and new people can sort of see things. So I'll have it linked. You can go follow it. Okay. Yu-Gi-Oh! There's a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! News that has happened. We did talk already about the overframe cards.
But since there's just been more of them.
Yeah, there's been a little bit more news around that. There's been a bit of stuff with Master Duel and Duel Links and a few products and just things. So I guess the best place to start with it would probably be just overframe news. There's been a little more. We've gotten, so basically the overframe cards are the part of that heroes and rivals set. What is that? Is that what
even though we've done that before, haven't we?
Yeah, they did it a couple years back, I remember, but there weren't overframes obviously, but it was they had the whole theme of heroes and rivals and stuff. So a lot of these new overframe cards are just support for the protagonists and their rivals' different anime decks. Mm-hmm. So we've gotten in addition to that Dark Magician thing, we've now gotten a Karibo that kind of supports it,
which looks awesome.
In addition to what was it, Flare Wingman, Shining
Flare Wingman.
We also have Wing Karibo for Jaden and so on and so forth.
They all look fire. I've been so out of it lately. I haven't had a chance to sit down and read all the cards because, my God, it's a lot of text. What I can comment on is the artwork is crazy. My personal favorite is a Future Fusion. That just looks,
the Future Fusion looks so cool. It's
so
a
gorgeous.
Cyber Dragon sort of thing. I do think that I'm coming around to these overframe cards. Obviously I've yet to really see one in person, but I do think that the art that they've been employing for these has been good. They seem to really be making a point to take advantage of the fact that this is flying off the frame. So you get the multiple Karibos, or you get a lot of dragon wings in the corners and a lot of things like that. And so I found that to be really visually pleasing.
Because I think a simple way to do the overframes would have been, just make the monster bigger and just kind of let it bleed out. But the overframes they've shown so far are way more creative than that. I forget which one it was that it kind of looks like the monster is kind of like surrounding the card almost.
Yeah, there's
Was
so
that the
many.
Blue Eyes? I forget which one. But
No, the Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon.
Yeah,
it looks like
it's not a simple. Oh, we just made it big. Like I don't know. They look great. I think they're definitely worth collecting just off looks alone. As far as effects go, from what I understand, if you like anime decks, then they're worth collecting for that too.
I've heard some people saying, I guess maybe voicing a bit of concern about maybe these cards are too good. Like the Blue Eyes card's really good, the new Rocket card's really good. But like, I don't know. I mean, I honestly think like anime decks and Yu-Gi-Oh! Tend to they get the short end of the stick a lot. And a lot of these cards, as powerful as they are, because a lot of them are like, they tend to they're very like kind of Poplar coded type cards or like Mathmex circular coded things where it's like, you just pitch this from your hand and you get something good. Or like when this is added to your hand, you summon it, and when it summons, it gets like, it's those types of really powerful like starter, extender sort of setup type of effects. Mm-hmm. But honestly, man, like anime decks usually suck. They kind of need the help. So not all of them. I mean, I know like Blue Eyes is on the stronger end.
I really need the help. Please.
I mean, even Blue Eyes though isn't. I mean, it's not like a top of the meta deck. It's just a
Dark Magician been suffering for years.
It's still sad because like Red Eyes hasn't gotten anything.
Yeah, Red Eyes hasn't gotten anything. Take note of that.
Yeah, they haven't gotten anything. Now I know that like that new like Boral sort of Rocket card is like really strong, and there's like the Galaxy one. So there's a few that maybe could be like real meta threats, but I think it's still important for these cards to feel good to both open and play. Mm-hmm. So because like the goal is to be collectible, and
but Yu-Gi-Oh! Is still like a player's game.
Yes, they got to kind of hit the ground running and make it where like collectors would want it because it looks cool, players would want it because it's strong, and if you happen to be in that cross section of I'm a player but I also want my cards to look cool, then like it serves its purpose. Like I think if they were just doing like overframes of like bad old Dark Magician cards, I don't know that would really.
I don't think it would hit unless it's this Dark Magician girl over and over and over again.
So there is a few other like cool announcements. Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links is celebrating its 9th anniversary, which
it's really been 9 years.
Yeah, it's been 9 years of Duel Links. There's a bunch of login bonuses and things that you can get, but what I wanted to kind of draw our attention to was actually this full artwork of this new monster called Dimension Linker, which is a card that they designed to celebrate the 9th anniversary. What is your initial thought on Dimension Linker? She's for the audio listeners. I mean, like I'm going to put this up on video, but
all right. So get this, guys. Have you ever? Are you guys familiar with like Xenogear?
What is that, like a mobile game?
No. It's like a JRPG. Like she looks like one of the girls from that franchise. Like techie.
Yeah, techie kind of pseudo armored, pseudo
zippers and belts hanging off.
Yeah. She kind of looks like a Malice monster, but just minus like the Malice like kind of checkered aesthetic and stuff, like the chest aesthetic.
Does she have a tail, or what is that? That's this
looks like this is her weapon. Like this is she's holding something that kind of looks like a whip of sorts.
I thought it was like a tentacle.
It looks very, I'm not gonna lie, not very Yu-Gi-Oh! It's very like kind of gotcha mecha tech girl game.
I mean, if we can finally, coin Yu-Gi-Oh!, she is like the epitome of whatever Yu-Gi-Oh! Is today.
Yeah, she definitely represents whatever that is. But yeah, there's a bunch of like login gifts that you can get. You can get like this Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. There's a full art or rush over rush Red Eyes Black Dragon. And there's like gems, sleeves, card sleeves, game mats, all kinds of stuff that you can get. So I don't play a lot of Duel Links myself. So, not as much for me, but she is a card as well.
I'm just impressed Duel Links still doing it, man.
9 years.
9 years, and like how many years without an anime?
Yeah, I mean, like Duel Links, for what it's worth, they scrape as far as they can to get like material to use. They've been adding in like, what is it, Darts, Noah.
Yeah, movies, filler arcs, like whatever they can do. I mean, at this point, they might as well start digging into the manga and just pulling out black and white characters.
Yeah. I mean, like, it is cool. It does make me sad that we did not get an announcement of a new Yu-Gi-Oh anime, and we talked about that before. That wasn't at Jump Festa, so they're gonna just keep on cranking along with whatever it is that they can do. And I guess like that's maybe where things like this Dimension Linker girl come in, where you kind of got to create some new material when there isn't any otherwise. Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel also is doing a 2026 campaign. There's like the 2026 life points trial challenge thing.
But you play with 2026 life points?
Yeah, they do that every year. It's pretty cool. They've added Draco Tail's been in the game, but now we got Yummy into the game. That's been kind of exciting. It's cool because I know that the Justice Hunters little trifecta of decks, K9's still not in the game yet, but they've been kind of slowly getting integrated into Master Duel, and that's something that I know a lot of people have been looking forward to. So I've played a little bit of it myself, and it's been pretty nice.
You're a Yummy boy now?
No, I've played against plenty of it, though. It sucks. A few Yu-Gi-Oh! Tidbits as well.
A few morsels.
So, do you know the actress Natalia Dyer?
No, but I might want to.
So, actress Natalia Dyer revealed in an interview that she had a crush on Yami Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! As a kid. This actually, this is an interview
I do know who that is.
Yeah, she plays Nancy Wheeler from Stranger Things.
Yep.
And so she revealed in an interview that, she used to have a crush on Yugi. So I just thought that was kind of a fun tidbit.
I mean, now I know it's a story because Stranger Things is hot. They just had their finale. So, any story related to them, is kind of
gonna make the headlines, yeah.
But let's be honest, a lot of people had a crush on Yami Yugi growing up. He was that dude.
The Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG account actually replied or did a little quote tweet, and they said, Yami Yugi plus Nancy Wheeler, stranger things have happened. So I thought that was kind of a fun. I mean, every now and again, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Social media accounts are allowed to laugh.
If Kazuki Takahashi was able to keep Yu-Gi-Oh! In that kind of darker supernatural bag that he was in before he got into like dual monsters, Yu-Gi-Oh! Could have been the like Japanese Stranger Things.
Maybe. I did not know that much about her, but that's just, it's kind of a thing that I've seen. I also saw this really interesting Yu-Gi-Oh! There's a few products, actually. That
also, all the monsters in Stranger Things look like Yu-Gi-Oh! Monsters.
So, have you heard of a satisfaction ring? I know that's...
What kind of podcast do you think this is?
What do you think of when you think of a satisfaction ring?
I can't answer that. Well, I guess I can answer that, but Jesus,
what do you
Paul.
think? What do you think a satisfaction ring is?
I think it's... Okay, if I have to guess what a satisfaction ring is, sounds like something that you put in... around a private area
place that you would want
that like
satisfaction
vibrates or gyrates and creates.
This is a Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, I mean, I think
what
a satisfaction ring is like a thing that exists, but they made these Yu-Gi-Oh! Satisfaction rings for the 5D's kind of rival and just main characters or whatever. It's just this ring, and like on the inside it says the name of the character. And it just says the word satisfaction on the outside. There's one for Crow, Yusei, Jack, and this is the guy who uses Colin
Kessler? Was that it?
Something like that.
Or was that a different guy? I'm forgetting now.
Well, either way, so these are these rings that are just kind of released in Japan.
Infernity.
Yeah. And I said Infernity, yeah. Caden? What is his name? I actually, hold up. We need to find this out.
It was Colin Kessler. Okay.
Well, either way, you can get a satisfaction ring with your favorite 5D's character.
Yo, why
I don't know what
are they called satisfaction rings? This honestly sounds like purity ring.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought of, actually. I thought it was like kind of like a chastity type of thing. Or like a purity ring. Like,
I'm saving myself for Colin Kessler.
Yeah, so I'm trying to see what a satisfaction ring is. Apparently,
Because like the fact that it has like their names.
oh,
inscribed.
okay. So they were called Team Satisfaction.
They were.
Apparently, maybe this is in Japan. I'm not sure if I'm like reading the right information, but they, because see, I looked up what is a satisfaction ring, and like I got some products that were different.
Okay. So they were called the Enforcers in the dub, but in the Japanese, they were called Team Satisfaction.
Well, if you want one of these characters to satisfy you, you can buy their ring and wear it.
Yeah. So check this out. So we knew them as the Enforcers. The Japanese knew them as Team Satisfaction. The Germans knew them as the Protectors. How did we spin off Team Satisfaction into the Enforcers and the Protectors? Something's not right here.
I mean, I think that Team Satisfaction was definitely not ever going to work. That just isn't a great. I think that bringing that over to the West probably was never going to be a great thing.
What did they think that meant? We're gonna satisfy the satellite? No, I don't get it.
Yeah. Now there's also some new sort of streetwear, I guess you could call it.
They sound like a boy band from the 90s.
Yu-Gi-Oh grills. These might be officially
This
licensed.
looks like a rapper from the 90s.
Yeah, you can get a Yu-Gi-Oh grill. They have, I guess, Blue Eyes, Dark Magician, and then just sort of like Millennium Puzzle things. So
Oh, I thought that was Exodia. I couldn't tell.
it's kind of just stuff. I don't know, just Millennium imagery. So I think this might be like a fan made thing, but
I mean, it looks well made. I'll give them that.
yeah. So I thought that was kind of a neat thing. Speaking of fan made things, I also saw that somebody made some Air Max 95 Blue Eyes White Dragon customs. There actually were, of course, real Air Max 95s they released last year, but this person made some Blue Eyes White Dragon customs.
I always find it cool when people kind of create their own colorway.
Yeah, I think it's kind of neat. I mean, like, would I wear it? Hard to say. I feel like it doesn't have enough Blue Eyes imagery for me. Like, I feel like I would want something subtle, but I might have to just see them in person. So
Nah, Paul, you want that Studio Dice logo on it.
I do. I'm still really upset that I wasn't able to get those shoes last year. I really tried, but like a lot of people were upset because like players just didn't get them.
You can still get them.
Yeah, I know.
They on StockX.
That'll be coming up actually soon in the podcast.
Oh, Jesus.
Products that are on eBay and StockX. But there's one more major Yu-Gi-Oh announcement, at least to me, that I wanted to share with the people. And that is the introduction of the Deckmaster Cup.
Huh?
So you guys might remember the Yu-Gi-Oh Challenger Cups, which are a thing in the sort of EU regions, but haven't really been around in North America very much since they stopped doing them in 2024. Basically, there were these online Master Duel tournaments that you could just enter for free, and they had really cool prizing and stuff.
Right.
And they would just run them like every weekend. Sometimes they'd run multiple in a weekend. They would even let some content creators stream them. Like I got to stream a couple of them. It was fun. And then they stopped doing them all of a sudden. And it was...
They probably just didn't. Whoever was supposed to be running them probably left, and they were like, "Oh, we don't have anybody to do it anymore."
Well, no, actually. So I'm familiar with some of the people who Konami contracts to run these, and they just do them through these Discord servers and stuff. And the team of people who run them are still running the ones in Europe, but they just Konami NA for whatever reason had just stopped doing these. And it really sucked because it was kind of like a fun just thing for Master Duel players to do, a way to get prizes, spend your weekend, play some Yu-Gi-Oh! From the comfort of your home. And now they brought them back, and they rebranded them as Deckmaster Cups.
Wait. So this is just the Challenger Cups.
The Challenger Cups are back in North America finally again.
But just with a new name.
With a new name, which is the Deckmaster Cup. They're still run the same way.
Do they know that by naming them the Deckmaster Cup, you are giving people the wrong idea?
Wait, what do you mean? Oh, like they're going to think it's like, oh, you use a Deckmaster or something?
That's the only thing I thought of. When you said it was a Deckmaster Cup, that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, they're doing something fun. Then it's like, oh, no, they're doing something standard.
I was curious why they renamed it. Like, I don't really know. I mean, like, I thought the Challenger Cups were fine because it seems like in Europe, they're still using the Challenger Cup name.
Maybe they didn't want to use the same name as Europe. Maybe there could have been issues with people registering for the wrong ones or something.
I don't really know, but the pricing still seems to be basically the same. They're still giving out Steam Deck OLEDs as prizes and like Master Duel jackets and hoodies and stuff. They are also doing them for Duel Links as well, and I think that these are called the Deckmaster Cup as well. It's just like a slightly different logo. Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you want to sign up, you can go to their Discords and have a look-see. I think that the first ones are going to be on either this weekend or next weekend. So
okay, then.
I think that they filled up the first one, and then they had to like increase the player cap on it. So
yeah, I decided what my New Year's resolution is going to be, Paul.
What's your New Year's resolution?
I know it's late, but we also started late, so it's fine. I'm going to make an effort to play Master Duel this year.
Why Master Duel? I thought you were going to say Duel Links.
No, Duel Links and I have a history of creating incredibly large expenses. And
you think Master Duel might not take as much of your money?
Master Duel, you can do a lot with a lot less.
That's true. That is true. I think Master Duel is much more free-to-play friendly, so good luck. Have fun.
Look, I mean, out the gate,
keyboard.
I will have to immediately upgrade my accessories, my mates and stuff. But after that, I'm going to go clean, no spending.
My New Year's game, like card game resolution is I actually want to try out Pokemon TCG Live. I had a friend from high school who I saw again over one of the recent like holiday breaks, and he plays Pokemon TCG Live, and he was telling me that he enjoys it, and I was like really surprised because I haven't really met anybody who plays TCG Live. So I was like, you know what, I might give this a little crack, see what it's about. I'll see if I like it. I mean, like he plays like the competitive thing, but he also plays whatever the gym leader challenge or something that it's called, which is like it's kind of their equivalent of like snapshot formats. Like you kind of play like these older formats, and he was explaining it to me. I don't really know the full picture of it, but
I say power to you. I only barely play TCG Pocket.
Yeah. So speaking of TCG Pocket, I think that's a great segue into some of the card gaming news because there's a lot of it.
Of course there is.
There's just a lot of like little card game things. You were telling me about this earlier. This is the 2025 CCG Mobile Market Wrap Up. So this comes to us from Gaming on Phone, where this is data that was sourced by Gaming on Phone from App Magic. I don't know what that is, but apparently it's a way
idea.
Gathering some information about which games made the most money, specifically on mobile. So this is limited to collectible card game genre on iOS and Android platforms.
So there's how many are listed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games are listed here.
These are the top 7 games. I'm sure that there actually are probably more, but
I think we should talk about them from the bottom up.
Okay. Everybody likes it from the bottom up.
That's right. Number 7 is WWE Supercard.
Now, if you told me about this like a year ago, I would have not known what this is, but I remember this actually came up in like one of our other like random like list of app games things like on this pod like months ago. It is, yeah, there's a WWE like digital card game. Huh. Apparently you can spend a good bit of money on it.
Well, I mean, too. WWE is incredibly popular. It's kind of had a resurgence in the last decade. Mm-hmm. And I mean, and you could tell because this game made $24.1 million last year.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know too much about it, but actually, if there is anybody who like listens to or like plays.
Yeah, tell us what you think about Supercard.
Yeah, let me know if you play it. Number 6 is Marvel Snap, which is an interesting one because I know Marvel Snap when it first came out was like topping a lot of these charts.
I mean, it's still. I mean, this is
but still being
number
a top
6 out of like all the CGCs.
Yeah.
So that's still pretty good at $26.8 million.
Yeah, Marvel Snap. I know. It's still the Marvel IP, which is obviously huge. It's still, like it's still a game that I remember feels like it was very mobile first design. Like it's kind of designed to be like quick in and out games. It kind of reminds me more of like how Duel Links is a more like vertically designed Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's like fast and snappy and visual.
I remember saying that it really did feel like one of the first CGCs. I feel like you could not be made into a physical TCG, and that's what made me like it.
I think you're saying CCGs.
Yeah. Oh, CCGs. I said CGC.
Yeah, which probably stands for something. I don't even
Who
know.
knows? Probably something illicit.
Number 5 is Magic the Gathering Arena. And this is an interesting one because I know that Magic the Gathering Arena has been around for a pretty long time now. I think it's gotten a lot more popular because of the Universes Beyond sets that they have been. Because for a while, like a lot of those Universes Beyonds wouldn't come to Arena.
Yeah, I mean, famously, it was the Spider-Man one is literally not in Arena, or it is, except all the artworks and names got changed.
Yeah, but now it's like doing really well. You know, over the break, I saw Larry. He was playing Magic Arena, you know, as he does. He plays that. He plays Master Duel. And, like, I got to give it to Arena. It looks pretty nice. Like, I wouldn't say it's quite like Master Duel level of presentation, but I do like that the game, like, it runs well. It runs quick. And you are able to play, like, you know, I think the Final Fantasy cards are all in there. I think that the latest run of Spider-Man stuff is
they're in, but the artworks and
they changed it.
The names are all different.
Yeah, and I think that the Avatar: The Last Airbender stuff is going to be coming to it soon if it's not already in it. I'm not, I'm not a Magic head, but yeah, they got 38.6 million,
and they'll see another bump when they get the Marvel, the superhero Universes Beyond set in.
Something that's kind of cool about Arena too is that like those cards come to Arena like not even like a month later. Like it's not.
They don't waste. They start designing and putting those cards into the code like really soon. Next up is Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel.
Yeah, not too super shocked to hear this is around. Master Duel, they say, makes them quite a lot of money. I remember somebody was digging into like Konami's financial report or something.
Oh yeah, the Japanese.
And apparently, yeah, Master Duel, it makes them a lot. Apparently, it actually makes them even more off mobile, like the Steam client and the console clients. Because some of the games on this list are only available on mobile.
And so you're seeing all the money that they make.
So you're kind of seeing everything.
Games
certain
on
ones,
console and PC.
Yeah, certain ones like Master Duel are like, they're kind of on PC and stuff as well. Arena, for instance, is as well. And so like, yeah, they say they make a lot off Master Duel. I don't, like, it's interesting because I still to this day don't think that Master Duel is, like, I still find it very free-to-play approachable. But I think that it's the whales, and I think it's just I might actually be viewing Master Duel the wrong way. Because I'm a very patient gamer. Like, I don't, it's just tough to get me to spend. But I have realized that I might be, like, more of an anomaly in that regard.
I would say in my history of mobile gaming, which has been long at this point, for the most part, people chase meta games, and they chase them aggressively.
Yeah.
If there's something new and it's considered it's the best thing out, you drop everything, you pour every resource you can into getting it.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who they're very impatient. Like, the new deck comes out and they want to play it day one, and they want to also play every new potentially good deck when they can, and so they will spend the money. Master Duel has also been doing more. They've been doing a lot more like little kits and stuff lately, like little bundles and deals. And so in the last few months, maybe that's kind of helped out. Number 3 is Hearthstone.
It's a long-running CCG. Got to make sure I say that right.
Yeah, this is one I can't speak very much to. I've never played Hearthstone. I've known some people who have.
I mean, it's just well-designed. It's a system that works, and they keep getting content.
Yeah, Hearthstone is based off of Dota, right?
Sure.
Well, no, I really don't. Is it Dota?
You've played more Dota than I have.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure. You know what? Let me actually look that up before I lie to people. But yeah, I know Hearthstone, it's been around a while. Hearthstone is based off of it's the Warcraft universe.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I thought Dota had one.
I don't know.
Okay, apparently they don't.
Was that the Realm one? I don't know. I don't play MOBAs.
Shadowverse Worlds Beyond at number 2.
Another Worlds Beyond is the newer version, but Shadowverse has
It's
been
pretty long
in the
running now.
CCG space for a long time.
Yeah, we'll be hearing a little bit more about Shadowverse here in a bit in this podcast.
Worlds Beyond, people kind of like flamed its release, and they had things to say about it.
I remember that. We talked about it on this podcast, and I remember people were saying they are stealing all of our money and they're evil, but it seems like people, despite those complaints,
they sent them their money anyway.
Yeah, they marched right up to the counter, grumbling all the way, and gave them $68.1 million. So,
and now we get to the number 1 top CCG of 2025, and this game made more money than all the other games combined.
That's right, guys. It's Cardfight Vanguard. No,
it is Pokemon.
It's Pokemon TCG Pocket, which just insane. $669 million is more than the next 6 games combined.
Yeah, it's a silly number.
Actually insane.
Now, granted, I think Pocket is only available on mobile, so this is literally all of its money.
Yeah.
Others have money hidden around other places, but I doubt they have an extra $500 million in the tuck.
It's so interesting, I've talked about it a little bit on this podcast. Like, I don't really play Pocket anymore. Like, I kind of played it when it came out. I did my little daily openings and I just got bored of it. But like, I know people who, they open every day. Good for them. I also know people who are subscribed to the little $10 a month tier. Yep. Apparently there's like a higher tier, maybe. There's like a higher tier, or like, I guess there's just more stuff you can always spend.
You can always spend more money. That's the wondrous world of microtransactions.
Yeah. And people really love their Pokemon. They truly do. Like, it was always kind of interesting to me that on TCG Pocket, it does have a gameplay aspect to it. I don't know like how deep or competitive that gets. I always remember it feeling kind of simplified. But like, the fact that people are they're very serious about just having the collections, those full art cards with like the zoom in illustrations,
the immersive arts and stuff. I mean, I've been opening in TCG Pocket since the game came out. Playing, it's a bit of a stretch, but I open my cards, and there is a joy that you get in your heart when you open your favorite Pokemon in it's like alternate art or it's immersive art.
Yeah, it's a lot of money to be spending, but like, people are here for Pokemon. An interesting perspective that I heard recently was how just the advent of Pokemon TCG Pocket actually like kind of had a bit of a knock-on effect on like everything in the TCG space. Like, Pocket's release and popularity caused a surge of popularity around like all other physical and digital trading cards. Just because so many people, TCG Pocket was their first exposure to the idea of a collectible card game, whether physically or digitally. And so when it came out, it actually it like made more people want to buy physical Pokemon cards, try out other physical card games like Yu-Gi-Oh, One Piece, whatever, Torcana or something like that. It made more people be open to trying out like Master Duel and Hearthstone and like Shadowverse. It's crazy what kind of being a true like market leader can do.
I mean, it's the power of Pokemon. They've done it in every industry they can touch at this point.
Yeah.
Like, Pokemon enters your industry and makes it better, or at least it just makes it more profitable.
I mean, yeah, Pokemon has that kind of power where like Pokemon can release a game in any given genre and like suddenly you might have like a top seller on your hands. I remember like Pokken Tournament, a game that like
it put on fighting games.
Yeah, I mean, well, no. But like but like, there are people who will never try out a Tekken game in their life. They're terrified to death of like the idea of any sort of traditional fighter. But like Pokken Tournament, they're going to try it because you can play as Charizard and Mewtwo and like whoever else, like it's just Lucario. So they tried it out, and that's how it works. It's the same with like that new game Pokopia or whatever, the farming sim.
Oh, I don't like that one.
Yeah, but a lot of people do.
It's
a lot of people are into it.
I just don't like the Ditto hand things, the Ditto person.
Yeah.
It upsets me.
I actually saw on Pokemon Center, like the Pokemon Center website, if you pre-order Pokopia, you get a free Ditto plush. So
It would just remind me of the Ditto person that upsets me.
Yeah.
Just,
So those are the top performing games. Now, here's something that's a little bit different.
Oh, I know what it reminds me of. It reminds me of the creatures in To Your Eternity. The things.
The weird, annoying slime.
Yeah, things that they have to kill and fight against.
Those.
That's what it reminds me of, and that's why it upsets me.
So here's a sort of related story that I thought was useful to bring on as well. This is data showing the top 10 Japanese TCGs that elementary school students are playing at the moment.
They get market data on children? That's interesting.
Yeah, so apparently this was some survey research that was done in Japan.
Paul, I opened this, and I can't read a word of it.
Yeah, I actually have a tweet that just sort of where somebody had...
Yeah, guys, because it's all Japanese here.
Yeah, it's all Japanese. I'll try to put a better visual on screen, but yeah. So basically, they did some survey research to find out what games I was going to say American students, Japanese elementary school students are playing, and this is actually a pretty big deal because remember, this isn't just like your typical 30-year-olds like they're just playing Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh forever the rest of their lives. This is like what is the new generation playing? What are they engaging with? So, number 10 is a game called Kanji Monsters.
That sounds like a game to help you learn your kanji.
Which 12.8% of students who play TCGs are playing this game. These percentages aren't going to add up to 100. They're going to just be like a percentage of the people that were surveyed that play these games at all.
Got it.
Number 9 is Shadowverse Evolve.
Let's go, Shadowverse.
So, I assume that... So, Evolve is the physical one, right?
Yeah.
And then Worlds Beyond is like the latest digital game.
The CCG.
Okay. So, yeah, 13.5% of people play that. A game called Mushi Jingi at 14%.
Can I see how it's spelled?
Yeah, Mushi Jingi.
Oh, no, I don't recognize
I
it.
don't know what that is. Maybe you can look it up, see a little...
If I can spell it correctly.
If you can... That's one of my favorite parts about the Japanese language is that, like, phonetically spelling things is so much easier than in America. Because, like, in America, it's like, all right, spell neighborhood. And it's just like, what? So.
I have seen this game before.
What is it?
It's a bug trading card game.
Oh, like you collect bugs?
Yeah, bug collecting is a pretty big hobby in Japan, especially for children, but adults too. And so the cards are just different, like bugs. Okay. Insects, beetles, spiders.
Number 7 is Cardfight Vanguard at 14% as well.
Look at Vanguard.
Number 6 is Digimon at 14.3%.
Hey!
So the kids are playing their Digimon. Thought that was kind of nice. Battle Spirits at 15%.
Battle Spirits is always going to be on a Japanese list.
Yeah, not to be mistaken with the
not our
Western Battle Spirits kind
Rest
of
in
reboot
peace.
That didn't quite, make it very long. Number 4 is Duel Masters at 19%. I know that's very popular over there.
Crazy. Duel Masters has a chokehold in that country.
I know I don't think I brought this up, but there's like a Duel Masters anime, sort of mini short anime, like a 4-episode thing that they are releasing on the Duel Masters YouTube.
Oh, like internationally? I figured that it was
it's
a
not
Japanese
dubbed.
thing. Oh,
it's not. Yeah, it's just strictly like in Japanese. I don't even think it has subtitles right now.
I'm pretty sure they've had a few Duel Masters anime by now.
So yeah, it's a new anime. It's kind of neat. I saw that. And then at number 3 is Yu-Gi-Oh, 22.5%. Something that I would have been curious to find out about is if this is Yu-Gi-Oh OCG or OCG plus Rush Duel.
Oh, they don't make a distinction?
They don't, so...
Wait, maybe in the Japanese article they do. Give me a moment. I'll see if I can find the
Yeah, I mean, I tried to look, and I really couldn't tell, but we'll just interpret it charitably and just say that it's just like Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, you just play either one, and that's...
Let's say Yu-Gi-Oh was what number on the list?
It's number 3.
Number 3, so right here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a little translate to Hiki.
If it says a Yu-Gi-Oh OCG or official card game, then that means that it's just like, the card game, whereas like I think Rush Duel, they usually make a distinction. But because this was like gathered from gamebiz.jp, which is sort of maybe like a third-party aggregation type of site. Who knows if they made a distinction
Right.
or not? There's really no way to know. Either way, while you're doing that, at number 2 is One Piece card game.
It's just powerful.
Yeah, One Piece is
just
strong.
that strong. And
The
it
kids-
does say Yu-Gi-Oh! Series.
Okay, so yeah, probably both. So yeah, the kids are playing their One Piece. Like the youngsters are playing their One Piece in Japan.
I can't deny the popularity and the power of that fever dream Oda created.
Yeah, there's a bit more One Piece foreshadowing in this podcast as well that we'll be talking about. So
Oh my god, why does everything lead to something?
yeah, there's a lot of card game stories, man. And as you could probably guess, number 1 is...
I can't read Japanese, but I can tell you it's Pokemon.
That's right. It's the WWE card game. It's Magic the Gathering. The Japanese kids are playing Magic. No. Pokemon is 69.3%. So of kids who play like card games, physical TCGs in Japan, elementary school kids, nearly 70% of them are playing Pokemon. I'm sure you're very shocked.
That just makes perfect sense. I mean, guys, if you've never been to Tokyo, you'll notice that, at least, especially in like Akihabara, the vast majority of trading cards available to be sold are Pokemon cards. Yeah. There are entire stores that do one thing: sell Pokemon.
Yeah, there are very dedicated shops for that. We've stumbled into a few of them. It's very
You walk into them and it feels like you're in a library where it's just shelves of Pokemon cards.
Okay, so the next bit of card game news is an announcement around the One Piece card game. Now, you might have heard in the last month or two that the One Piece card game has apparently attracted the attention of a lot of scalpers.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Chris was telling us about this. He's kind of the resident One Piece aficionado.
He's our One Piece guy.
The Pokemon scalpers, they say, like the Pokemon TCG scalpers, have kind of set their sights now on One Piece as well. They see it as, a potential investment, something that they can buy sealed product and resell. They can, get valuable like Luffy cards and like the manga arts and the wanted, all those things, and like try to kind of hike up the prices on them. Mm-hmm. It's a terrible practice. None of us like it. But the One Piece card game does have an important announcement that they made from the official U.S. account. So here's what they said. To help prevent resale and ensure the continued availability of our products, we will remove the plastic shrink wrap from booster boxes at the time of purchase in all U.S. One Piece card game official shops. We sincerely appreciate your understanding and cooperation.
No longer factory sealed.
So what do you think of this?
It's a shame the lengths that we have to go to try and combat scalping. Because like the shrink wrap is nice because you get the security and knowing that the box has not been opened, no packs have been moved or
Nothing's
rearranged.
been tampered with and weighed
But,
and all that.
Like these companies are having to try to figure out solutions for a capitalism problem.
Yeah, they do. And at first, I remember when I read this, I was like, why are they doing this? And then it kind of made sense. The reason why they're removing the shrink wrap, because you're probably thinking like, what? Like, why are they? Is because basically the whole big thing with like the resale market is like you were saying, you want to be able to like buy a bunch of Pokemon boxes that are all sealed or One Piece boxes that are all sealed, and then you can throw them up on eBay and everywhere else and be like, sealed product. Like there's kind of the guarantee that it hasn't been tampered with, and so you can sell it at your full marked up market price. But if it's not sealed, then it means that it can have been tampered with. So what they're really doing here is saying that like when you walk in the store to buy your One Piece box, you'll pay, you'll agree that, okay, I'm buying this. And then like in front of you, they will like, remove the shrink wrap and then like give you the box. So you'll know that it hasn't been tampered with, but it cuts into your ability to go and like turn around and sell it because nobody on eBay would trust that a box that's
you would have a hard time
tampered with.
Pushing like a 200 or even 300% markup on an unsealed box. You'd like a seasoned TCG collector and player wouldn't do that, and even more of like a non like TCG focused collector would have pause at a non-sealed product.
Right.
So selling it for more than MSRP doesn't even seem like it's in the cards at that point.
Now, here's the one kind of strange part about this, because I thought like this is like, oh, they're doing this huge sweeping change. This only actually applies at One Piece official shops in the United States.
Well, I guess because they can't
really
police everybody. And they really can't even be 100% sure their One Piece official shops are all going to do it.
Well, I think that they will, because there's only 9 of them, apparently.
Oh, you mean the actual One Piece
Like,
shops?
yeah,
I thought you meant like Bandai sponsored ones.
No, yeah. This is like literally just like those ones where like it is a dedicated One Piece TCG shop. I think we've been to one before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those will do it. There's only like 9 of them or something in the United States, but... So that sort of helps, but yeah, your local card store is still gonna just.
Oh, never mind.
Sell them shrink wrap, so it's not.
It is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. So I don't know if this actually isn't going. I don't know if it's gonna make like a huge difference, but I do think it's like a step in the right direction. I was also wondering if they're going to like limit how many people can purchase. That might already be a thing at these shops.
Now I think about it, not long ago, because we've been having a lot of issues with reselling in the Gundam trading card game community.
Yeah, I've heard.
If I remember correctly, when I bought my boxes of GDO2, the store owner cut them open before they gave them to me. Yeah. Because we were having so much trouble with actually getting cards to people who wanted to play them.
Yeah, no, some people are saying, though, that this is kind of like illegal. Like, some people are claiming because, like, if you tamper with... Like, after I've paid for this product, if you tamper with it and remove the shrink wrap, that's like not, like, stores aren't allowed to do that. I don't know. I'm not even going to get into the specifics of that because I really don't actually know. Like, I don't know. Because it's kind of like if you went to Walmart and, like, bought, you know, something that's like food or something that's, like, wrapped, and they were like, okay, like, here, we're going to give it to you, but, like, we're unwrapping it before, like as you check out the product. And that's not like apples to apples.
I don't think it's a great analogy because like what unwrapping food is dumb.
I mean, I guess there's other things too, like kind of just maybe like a more normal product. How do you feel about the idea of going to a card shop and like, you know, you buy like your box and they just kind of are like, yeah, like I'm gonna like.
No, that's what they did with my Gundam box.
Well, no, but like if it was just always the norm, it's always the case. Do you have a problem with that, or do you not really see that as an issue?
I mean, I'm gonna open it anyway.
Okay. Now,
I mean, I don't resell cards. I don't even have a TCG player seller's account. Like,
right now, how would you also feel if maybe like your card shop was like, it was already the shrink wrap had been cut before you even got to the counter. So you're like, yeah, like I want to buy a box of this new set, and then like the guy at the card shop counter is just sort of like, okay, like here's your box, and like, and they claim that it comes straight from the case, but like the shrink wrap's has already been removed.
I mean,
like yay nay.
I think it is if you trust the like card shop. I think it's fine, only because like in every TCG that I'm familiar with, like. Box pulls are relatively like mapped, and if you notice a consistent trend of your boxes coming up short on a particular rarity, that's grounds to go ahead and report that shop to whichever like organization runs said card game.
Okay.
Like it's troublesome, but it just depends on your relationship with your shop. I know some people are very contentious with their shops, and they wouldn't trust their shop owner with anything.
Yeah,
but
been there, done that.
I'm not that worried.
Okay.
Though if I pop open like 3 Digimon boxes and I see like I'm missing like a secret or alt art in every single one of my boxes, at that point
might not feel
we're gonna have
good.
to have a conversation.
Well, speaking of card games that are selling out, despite promises that Riftbound's Spiritforged launch was under control, League of Legends TCG sells out again. So you will remember that we talked about Riftbound's launch a couple months ago. with set 1, which is called like Origins. Well, set 2, Spiritforged, is also having similar issues, where it seems like people are not really able to get their hands on the products, and it's really unfortunate because it sounds like they were promising that like this wasn't going to happen. Game director Dave Guskin admitted that Riot undershot its estimations, but assured that it was pulling all the levers it could to get the product out to players as quickly as it can. The Spiritforged pre-orders, however, tell a different story. Now, to give Riot some credit, you never really know how popular a product's going to be, especially when it's a somewhat experimental card game based on a MOBA that, while absolutely colossal, doesn't necessarily hold the same weight as Pokemon or Star Wars or One Piece. Given the demand for Origins, you'd assume it had learned its lesson and upped how much product it was producing. Turns out that has not been the case. So, all things Spiritforged sold out immediately, and resold booster boxes have appeared on eBay for as high as about $336.
Woo! That's high. I don't like that.
If the Pokemon TCG is anything to go by, scalpers kill games, and going by how little Riftbound stocks there seems to be, the cost of even the most mundane cards is quickly becoming absurd. So they say that there's 50% more product than there was with Origins.
I mean, I can believe that. Doesn't mean it's enough, you know. I've always said this about Riftbound since like announcement to like release. It always felt to me that Riftbound was rushed a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if, because like remember we talked about all like the erratas and stuff.
You know, they still got more of those.
Of course they did. Of course they did.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It feels like Riftbound is rushed. I don't know if they've done their full market research on the TCG space out west.
Yeah, it seems strange because, you know, I remember we talked about how the first set was not really, you know, they had some stock issues, but also some like quality control issues.
Pretty abhorrent quality control.
And I remember saying at the time that I sort of felt as though I was like, well, you know, it would almost have you believe that they maybe knew about these issues and were just like, whatever, we'll just release it anyway. Like, who cares? They said those same issues with like certain, you know, packs missing rares were going to still be in the second set.
I mean, because I think I said at the time that that's because they probably printed all that stuff all at once and it's already packed up and ready to go. They can try and fix it going forward, but the first two sets already dead in the water.
Yeah, so it does kind of come across as maybe a little bit rushed. I hope that they are not, that this is like something that truly will be resolved for the third set. I can't speak too much to like, what's interesting is like people have said that they actually really enjoy Riftbound, the game. So
I've never met someone who's played.
That's the positive spin on it. I did, so when I was home for the holidays, there were some people who were playing it, and they said that it's really fun. They say that it's a pretty,
Wouldn't it have been crazy if they were playing it and they're like, yo, I hate this game.
I guess that's true. You probably wouldn't find
only Yu-Gi-Oh players do that.
Yeah, so I think it's like only Yu-Gi-Oh players do that. People say Riftbound's really fun. It's really hard to get. Like, and that kind of seems like that's sort of the story for a lot of these games now. Like, it's sort of tough to get Gundams, you know? Getting tough to get One Piece.
Yeah. And speaking of Gundam, if I remember correctly, the next set comes out in like 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So we're going to see, because, you know, this is their third set. And I honestly feel like set number 3 for a new TCG decides if you're done or not.
It certainly seems like it decides if like you're kind of hype or flop type of, you know what I mean? Like, is it a game that is carried by the hype of being a new game, or is it a game where like, okay, we have like a roadmap and a metagame that's developing? And
I think a great example is the One Piece TCG. When they got to their set 3, it felt like that's when things stabilized for them. Because like scalpers were always crazy, but it felt like production had hit a pretty good medium point with set 3. You didn't hear half as much like belly aching about card prices. I saw boxes everywhere for it. I think like you got to get it right on set 3. You just have to.
Okay, so let's talk Pokemon. There's some TCG stuff, and it's kind of going to segue into the Pokemon Lego story that a lot of people have been talking about as well.
I haven't even heard about that.
So the Pokemon 30th anniversary is this year, in case you didn't know that.
I didn't.
So they're actually doing a bunch of different stuff for the 30th anniversary. There's a lot of different like collabs that are happening. I think there's like something with like Adidas. There's the Lego thing we're going to talk about in a second. And they're also bringing back, just to finish up our card game news, the Pokemon TCG promotions coming back to McDonald's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we can reveal this from Poke Beach. We can reveal McDonald's will be doing another Happy Meal X Pokemon TCG promotion. It's going to run from February to March. The dates may vary by country, but no other details are known at this time. Typically, though, you'll get a 4-card booster that contains 1 holo card and 3 non-holo cards. The set sizes are usually 15 cards, including 6 holo cards that are printed on confetti foil. And the cards are always reprints.
Yep.
So, earlier this year, that's to say like last year, McDonald's Japan did release a Pikachu promo with exclusive art. And that's actually one that we covered on the podcast. That's the one where
that was a mistake.
Yeah. They had to shut it down because people were like buying a bunch of food and like literally just like throwing the uneaten food and bags just in the trash. So yeah, that, however, is not really the big story here. The very first Pokemon Lego sets are up for pre-order.
Has there never been one before?
There's not. It's finally happening. Lego Pokemon sets are now available for pre-order. Announced last year, I do remember when there were like rumors of this happening. The collaboration is becoming a reality in February in the form of 3 mainline sets. So, how much do you know about like Lego sets in general?
Like that they exist and you can build virtually anything.
Yeah.
From like movie scenes and characters to like plants and animals.
Right. So Lego, and it's done this for many years now, but especially in recent years, they've been doing a lot of IP collabs, as you can imagine.
I mean, that's the way.
Lego Star Wars, Lego Harry Potter. That's kind of been, those are mainstays. Lego Marvel. This is the first time they've done one with Pokemon. They started doing Mario ones a few years ago. Those are cool. But the prices on these are really high, and they got a lot of people talking. So you can get this basic Eevee. Do you have this pulled up?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
You can get this basic Eevee for $59.99. It's a Lego Eevee.
It's called Basic Eevee?
I'm just calling it basic. Like it's kind of the baseline is the minimum you're going to be paying.
Oh.
You can get a Pikachu and Pokeball, which is $199.99.
Okay.
And then you can get this set that is Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise for $649.99.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah, it's over 20 inches high, 21 inches wide, 14 inches long. It's the biggest and most expensive of the Pokemon Lego sets. They kind of they look great. They're in this buildable stand, and they're kind of in their own biomes, like a grass, water, fire sort of thing. But you can also take them off and display them individually. And if you buy it before March 3rd, while supplies last, you'll get the Kanto Region Badge Collection as a free gift, which if you scroll down, you can see you'll get kind of the 8 Kanto Gym badges.
Ooh, that's fun. Because they look like Lego pieces anyway.
So what do you think? Would you get this?
Well, no, because I don't buy Lego sets. If I did, I'd probably not go further than the Eevee.
Yeah.
Just because those prices are quite exorbitant.
I don't really actually like how they look.
I mean, they look like Lego versions.
I don't know, something like, I don't know. When I look at them, I kind of just don't feel like they capture. The Eevee looks okay. The Pikachu is kind of, and the starters are okay.
Yeah, I mean, with Legos, you are limited in how you can depict things because, they are bricks.
Yeah.
And so there will be like an extra blockiness that isn't normally there, especially like Pokemon like Eevee and Pikachu, which are supposed to be rounder, more mascotty, not blocky. And it's hard to capture the very soft circular nature of these mascots. Well, with Lego bricks.
Now, I actually want to see if I can pull up this.
Golly, $650.
Yeah, let me see.
I mean, I know some people who they spend a lot of money on their Lego sets, but I don't know if they're $650 deep like that.
So I wanted actually to show you the promotional trailer.
I think it's a really good ad, man. That's
So what do you notice about that ad?
that it's all people in their like at least their late 30s, like mid 40s.
Yeah, that's what I noticed
Like
too.
they are way older than you're used to seeing in a Pokemon related ad.
Yeah,
but when it comes to Legos, it's a little different.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting that Lego's target market for this basically seems to be millennials.
Yeah, old people,
People who remember
people with dusty farts.
Gen 1, they're Gen 1ers, Pikachu, Charizard, Venusaur, Blastoise,
Yeah.
Eevee. And the prices reflect that. It is a little bit,
No, it doesn't. Who got that much money? I want your job.
well, I mean, like what kids do though, right?
Oh, that's true too.
I guess the idea is just like, it's a little bit depressing to me. Is just that like, it's Pokemon, but like this is clearly just not for kids to be getting.
Well, I mean, Pokemon transcends generations by far nowadays. It's been with us since the 1990s. Like, it'll be strange if Pokemon decided to ignore its older audience and focus exclusively on children, when of course the older audience has like substantially more buying power.
I think my main thing with this is I wish there was just something that the kids could easily get, like something just like cheaper, like
They
much
should have
smaller.
a child price tier.
Yeah, like just like some child, like just something that's like $20 maybe. Like
But then again, a bunch of adults would just buy it out.
that's true, but I mean at least like the implication would be that like this is something that a kid could ostensibly get.
Yeah,
Because I mean with this, it's like the kid can't even hope to get the Charizard, Venusaur.
no, they can't hope to get the child one
Sad.
either. They'll catch an elbow to the face real quick.
Yeah, I don't know. These sorts of things always depress me a little bit.
We've seen how grown men act over Pokemon cards, which literally have a children's age on the side of the pack.
Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah, so that's the Pokemon Lego set. I just thought it would be kind of an interesting thing to have a little gander
That's one of
at.
my favorite commercials that I've ever seen. It really doesn't paint us old nerds in the greatest of lights.
It almost
But
seemed
it's sadly
it almost seemed like parody.
accurate.
Like it almost seemed like they were like kind of teasing just how desperate, because like in a world with taxes,
Yeah, they
start off
he
by
looked
saying
so dejected.
you see an
Life-
envelope that says invoice.
Life was so hard on him, but seeing that $650 figure.
Yeah, those Legos that'll really do it. All right, well, you know what time it is.
What time is it?
It's AI time.
Can't we leave that in 2025?
You wish. We're going to start small and get worse. So, you play Uma Musume Pretty Derby, yes?
I have played it, yes.
Uma Musume developer Cygames was bullied into an apology by outraged horse girl enthusiasts after announcing its AI subsidiary. They say, "We sincerely apologize for the concern that we've caused."
Yeah, how dare you work with AI?
So here's basically what happened.
I don't know this situation.
Cygames, that's the Uma Musume developer and global leader in anime horse girl media production. They're having a bit of a laugh at this article here. Announced last... Sorry, I'm dying here. Announced last week that it had formed Cygames AI Studio, an AI-centric subsidiary that a company blog post says will, quote, build a unique creative cycle that goes beyond simply improving efficiency to expand creators' creativity.
Red flag, red flag.
Yeah, sounds like a whole bunch of nothing. But judging from the overwhelming contempt visible in the replies to the company's announcement on X, nobody really enjoyed hearing this news. And so here's what they said. Over the past few days, we've received numerous comments expressing anger and disappointment from many of you. This was because we released a simplified announcement in Japanese concerning the founding of Cygames AI Studio without addressing any of the current problems and social debates surrounding generative AI. We sincerely apologize for the concern we've caused. We'd like to take this opportunity to state that art produced from generative AI isn't used in our products. Furthermore, we won't implement generative AI into our products without prior notice. We hold in the highest regard those who love games, as well as the dignity, passion, and heart of the creators and artists who act as the architects of gaming culture. The art for all current Cygames products and other products is crafted from the technical know-how and manual work of our many staff members. Again, we deeply apologize for causing our beloved fans much grief and anxiety. We at Cygames will continue to honor creators as well as champion the free expression of people, and in doing so, we'll continue to strive to be the best in entertainment. What do you think?
I mean, I didn't hear the only thing I wanted to hear, which was we will never use AI in our products.
Yeah.
But, they said that they'll at least they'll tell us ahead of time so that I can uninstall the moment they tell us.
It kind of gave me very "we're sorry you feel that way" vibes.
It is because, at least from the perspective of Cygames, this is just the mandatory direction you have to go in the gaming industry.
Yeah.
I don't think in the Japanese gaming space that they feel as hard against AI as the Western gaming says, as long as you omit a couple companies.
I know Nintendo's not a big fan, but I know that Square Enix is.
It's a mixed bag, but the gaming industry, it's going to move towards AI one way or another. And all we can do as consumers is choose who we draw our line, and then support who we want to support, and not who we don't. It's a pain because Uma Musume is a gacha game, and in the gacha gaming community, a lot of times, we really get into the creative side of our games because there's not much more to them. The design of the characters is paramount. So, one, because that's usually where you're spending your money, but two, we typically get invested with the people who design the characters. In a lot of gacha games, every time a new character is released, you know who the artist is. People like to follow certain artists. People like the voice actors. They want to know who's voicing the characters. There's a lot of people who wouldn't want to see a single aspect of that taken by AI.
Yeah, I think that the interesting thing here is that, I know that people were saying there were job listings for AI technicians and stuff like that, So I think Cygames, what they're really saying here is none of the current games we have use AI, as far as we'll tell you. But in the future, expect them to do that. And the best that you'll get from us is that we'll at least tell you that we're using it. And that is better than you can expect from some companies. And that's kind of it.
There's a lot of games right now where you kind of just have speculative examples, and it's is this AI? And if it is this enough for me to quit?
Well, is it enough for you to quit? Would you quit Uma Musume if they started using AI and an update?
I think in the gacha gaming space, I think most people would agree that the moment it touches character design, bounce immediately. No looking back. Just, we're not doing that, Chief.
Okay. Well, here's another AI story for you.
That was the slow pitch, huh?
Yeah, this one was a pretty big one over the holidays, so we didn't get to talk about it till now. Yeah. Elon Musk's Grok AI floods X with sexualized photos of women and minors. I don't know how much you heard about this. I actually thought this was this has been a thing on Twitter for a while, but apparently it really ramped up.
Twitter was always a hub for porn, but I guess this is AI generated porn.
There's a few updates to this, but I'll start with the base article from Reuters. So here's where our story begins. Julie Yukari, a musician based in Rio de Janeiro, posted a photo taken by her fiancé to the social media site X just before midnight on New Year's Eve, showing her in a red dress snuggling in bed with her black cat, Nori. The next day, somewhere among the hundreds of likes attached to the picture, she saw notifications that users were asking Grok, X's built-in artificial intelligence chatbot, to digitally strip her down to a bikini.
Yo, it's crazy that Grok lets you know.
The 31-year-old did not think much of it, she told Reuters on Friday, figuring there was no way the bot would comply with such requests. Right? She was wrong.
Oh, Jesus.
Soon, Grok-generated pictures of her, nearly naked, were circulating across the Elon Musk-owned platform. I was naive, Yukari said. Yukari's experience is being repeated across X, an analysis has found. Reuters has identified several cases where Grok created sexualized images of children as well. X did not respond to a message seeking comment on Reuters' findings. So, yeah, on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, the Everything app, you can ask Grok to take her clothes off and put her in a bikini or put her in panties. And I say her, but you can actually do it to anybody, any subject of any image, any person on Twitter, while this is going around, could just at Grok, take their clothes off. And it would do it, and it would generate an image.
I know I've said this before, and I'm getting tired of having to say it. It's like, why was that not already built into the AI to just not do that? Why? This isn't a new use for AI. This is one of the first talking points that anti-AI folk have been on for years. And here we are in 2026, or was this in 2026?
It was 2026.
2026, and one of the most notable AIs on this planet is out here making illegal porn of people.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And it's tough because I remember, the small update to this is that they've now since apparently blocked out that functionality. It took a long time to do it. And they've also they've made it where Grok is hidden behind a paywall, so you have to have Twitter Premium to even use Grok for image editing. And it of course will still deny requests now for take their clothes off. The thing is though, it's crazy it's like you said that ever got past come on. That's actually insane. And it's tough because I remember when I was seeing this, if you're a woman, this is obviously going to disproportionately affect you, like a lot of these sort of really borderline criminal predatory things on the internet.
What if you're a really attractive man?
You can do the same thing. Take his clothes off, put him in a bikini.
It's not funny.
Because here's the thing. The way that it would work is if you tried to speak out against it, people would just, I don't care, I'm going to put you in a bikini now too.
That's true.
It's just please stop doing if you, Alec, you're telling me wow, Paul, you're being so immature and so wrong. Okay, put him in a bikini. And it'll just do, and that was so that was how the discourse was working. It was it doesn't discriminate. It will put people in kids.
Yikes.
Take off their school uniform. That somebody was people were posting that people would tweet that at Grok, take off their uniform. I remember when this was a joke where people at early last year were doing those things where it was at Grok, make her turn around or whatever, or take her shirt off. And apparently there was a time when maybe it wasn't doing it, but I guess it's amped up. And it doesn't discriminate based on age or gender or anything. And, I know people were kind of having a little bit of fun with it. They would do these things where it'd be remove the worst president from this picture of 4 presidents or whatever. And but I really do think that features like that just, no, it's just awful.
So I have an interesting idea that just kind of popped in my head.
Okay.
It's more of a question. Is AI really smart?
How do you mean?
So when people laud all the benefits and the uses of AI, they talk about how intelligent it is, how smart it is, it can solve all these problems.
Yeah.
But we keep finding examples of Grok and other AI doing some of the dumbest shit you can do on the internet. And it's pretty consistent to the point where I have to ask, wait, is AI actually smart? If it can't prevent this, should we trust it to do anything?
So I guess to play devil's advocate, it's almost kind of one of those things where it's AI is the tool, but like the people are the ones who choose what to do with it, sort of thing. Where like, I'm not saying AI is or isn't smart. It's capable of doing many things, it seems. Like, in theory, it can do like convenience things, like remove the distracting background from this photo. That could be like useful for you. You're on vacation and like someone is in the background of your photo, you can remove that. But also it can just be like, okay, Grok, take his shirt off. And it can also do that. And I think it really speaks to the base nature of like what people see when they see these AI tools. Like at a fundamental level, even when you are given a tool that can do a million things, it shows where in general our minds go first.
Well,
because like the idea is that it could do much more than this, but also like it's like, what does a normal person, when given a load of power, the average person just kind of is more interested in like putting a woman in a bikini.
But see, I'm not even gonna put that on the average person being dumb, because we already knew that.
Oh, well.
But these AI models, you're right. They can accomplish so many tasks way easier than if a human being were to do them. But then they're just kind of left open to attempt to do anything else.
Yeah.
And that feels so reckless and wasteful.
So
if
you know what you're getting
Grok
at?
could do all the accomplish all the tools or do all the tasks that I needed to do for my job, and that's literally all it could do, I would call it smart. But the fact that it has all this, it's like it's left open to just try to figure out other things, and it just messes up, makes mistakes. And
what's interesting is that you're kind of getting at something that I've talked about in past episodes, actually. What they like to do is like when you open ChatGPT or Gemini, they kind of want it to just be this canvas where they're not going to actually like guide you with what to do with this thing.
Open source.
They just want it to be like, okay, Alec, you opened up like ChatGPT on your phone. The sky's the limit. Do what you want. Just ask it anything. Tell it anything. Talk to it, and it will just figure out kind of what you want. It can code for you. It could make a picture for you. It could make a video, or it could edit something, or it could like explain a concept. But we're going to leave it to you as for what you want. And I think that at a base level, that's kind of meant to be, it's deceptively appealing in its own way, where it's just like, it's smart and I can ask it to do anything. Like it's magic, right? It'll kind of make it happen. To me, though, I think more, maybe this is like a cynical look at it from me, is to me that shows that these people that are designing these things kind of don't know or care what they like. We are more concerned with like we know that it's not profitable right now. Like everybody talks about like OpenAI isn't making money. It's kind of burning money. It's a solution looking for a problem. It's looking for like what will be that killer app, that actual application of AI where like people are willing to pay for this, we can charge for this, it can be profitable. And so until they find that answer, they'll just shove it wherever they can.
Right.
Like AI in your refrigerator, in your toaster. It's on your Google AI overview. It's on ChatGPT. You can just kind of ask it to do whatever. You'll find these things like, well, Grok, take off their clothes. Grok, remove the blah, blah, blah person from this image. It'll just kind of create this sandbox for you to just do whatever you want. I think the problem with that is that, A, even when somebody can find a good use for AI, maybe it can be valuable for teaching, it can synthesize something, whatever, you will encounter first so many obscene roadblocks because like
I don't know why I thought you just said Roblox. I was like, wait, what's that got to do with this?
No. Because like for every person who maybe is like, this could potentially identify an illness before you have it, like based on your blood biometrics or whatever, like it could determine that you have cancer. But before all of that, we have to just have it in a form where you can ask it anything. And when people are able to ask anything of a tool,
always go too far.
like, unfortunately, this is the first thing that comes to mind.
And if Grok were smart, it would just
And it would say no.
no.
But here's the thing. They can't have it say no because they got to sell that magic. That idea that AI can just do whatever and, like, you know, the world's your oyster and you're only limited by your creativity. When I look at those sites, like in that Sora image generator thing where, like, there's like an AI social media platform where you can just doom scroll through AI, I find myself thinking, like, what is the point? Like, what are you meant to glean from scrolling through this? And the answer is, I don't really know. Like, it's fake videos, just things that you know are not real. But for some people, that's appealing to them. Like, you know, Grok or Meta AI, turn me into Superman, turn me into, like, whatever, generate me in Studio Ghibli style.
I have a rude analogy that I think of when it comes to things like Sora AI. Some people, their brains, at least creatively, work kind of like a toaster, where either the toast is in or it's popping out. They only have two states, and there's no in between. There's no nuance to it. So seeing the actual Superman, seeing a video game Superman, seeing a comic book Superman, or seeing an AI Superman, the toast is popped. It doesn't matter. You're not thinking about anything a difference. Yeah. As long as you see Superman, ding ding ding, that's the dopamine. That dopamine hit. That's all, and that's all that matters. But for, you know, cultured people, we're a bit more like,
I want to see something that was produced, something that had, like, a soul, had heart, like, was worked on.
We could be considered a toaster too, but we're a toaster that has multiple settings where you can get a different color toast, a different, like, degree of toast, because we care about the differences between them.
Yeah. I mean, I think it also says a lot about, you know, I hate to keep coming back to this, but I do think that, like, it says a lot about, like, kind of the human condition of just at people's base level, what they think of, like, women, images of women on the internet. Because disproportionately, this was women that were dealing with, you know, this whole, like, undresser thing. Is when people see, and this doesn't apply to all men, I'm not saying that, but it's like when people see an image of a woman on the internet and then they're suddenly given a tool where you can just ask this tool to do anything you want to this image. The options are limitless. You can make it where, change the sky in the background to be from daytime to sunset, or put a field of flowers in the background, or put a cow behind her, whatever. Who cares about all that? Take off their clothes. Like, just like when, because here's the thing, Grok's, it was at the time or whatever, it was like free. Right. Nothing was stopping you. You can ask anything of it, and this is where people go to first.
Well, I mean, sex has always been like the predominant motivator for just about all of human life to some degree or another. I mean, there's a reason why the internet, like, was almost immediately diluted in pornography once it came into itself. And
yeah,
there's no reason AI would be any different. The problem is AI now lets you create porn of people who want no part of it.
There's no consent.
And I think that stems from the fact that online pornography never required consent to begin with. Because you could argue, well, a pornographic actor consented to shooting the video, and that is true, but they did not consent to you illegally streaming that video.
Something that actually reminds me too of how, like, even the barrier to the viewer's consent has been deteriorated. It's like kind of related. It's just like how now, like, I can be like scrolling on like Twitter or Instagram or Facebook and like conceivably just have the pornographic imagery placed in front of me without me even seeking it out necessarily, because the algorithm kind of deemed it so. And then furthermore, you know, we covered that article about the Aerith voice actress who was like tired of fans. She was telling fans, like, don't send, like, work, you know, lewd fan art, because, like, to them, the internet and like their own, I guess, just inner horniness or whatever is just like, she voices Aerith, I'm going to like at her and this fan art, and like she now gets no choice in the matter of seeing it. Because she was tagged in it or whatever, and so.
And while this won't be the direct cause, but it could be related, is at least in the West, in the States, more and more states have been trying to regulate pornographic websites, but these social media sites, which are not considered pornographic websites, they fly under the radar of those regulations. Like in Texas, you have to show your state ID to access Pornhub.
Yeah.
But you don't need to flash an ID to get on Twitter. At least I don't think you do.
You don't. Of course you don't. There's so many bots on that website. So anyway, that's the story. They have since, prevented Grok from doing this and like all that. So I guess there was like a sort of a happy ending, although I really do feel bad for the people who still feel violated by it, because you can never really return that.
Can't get unviolated.
Yeah, you actually can't return that sense of safety.
Ooh,
like
that didn't sound great.
No, but
edit that out.
But it is true. Like, I mean, like, even if technically, like, okay, the image of you that was stripped down to a thong or whatever isn't a real image. I mean, you can't tell that to somebody who that happened to.
It is a real image. It's not a real like depiction of you.
Yeah, because like it's still like, because like I think of this, the story that they talked about in the Reuters article, where it's just like, you posted an image like celebrating, New Year's, you're just kind of sitting with like your cat or whatever, and then someone's just like, yeah, take that dress off. Take it off, like just like because it can. And so now, like, even if that image wasn't something that you took, it's like it's still just as bad.
I think the takeaway here is we need to free Pornhub so the gooners can go back to where they belong.
I think too little, too late. Well, listen, we got a couple more AI stories, and they only get worse. Just so you know. Actually, no, this one doesn't get as bad as the last one. So, Project Ava, heard of this?
No.
It's from your favorite company, Razer. Project Ava is your AI desk companion. I want you to take a look at this so you can kind of have an idea of how.
So I'm guessing they're making an Alexa that.
Meet Project Ava, your 24/7 AI companion designed to live right alongside you. Powered by advanced AI, it features a dynamic personality that learns and evolves based on your interactions. Brought to life as an animated 5.5-inch 3D hologram, she uses human-like vision and audio sensing.
Oh my God.
For full contextual awareness. She simplifies your life by organizing your schedule, consulting you on work tasks, and guiding you to victory as your enthusiastic
it's the
gaming
AI
wingman.
girlfriend, and you can get a hologram.
Yeah, okay.
Jesus.
So I'm going to try to explain this for people who are just audio listeners. Project Ava is this thing by Razer. They showed it off at CES this year. That's basically this little I guess what would you describe this as? It's kind of like this little like.
It looks like it's a tube.
Like what you would see at the bank. You remember when you like send like you get like a deposit or send a check at the bank?
I don't think anyone younger than us knows what that is.
Well, either way, it's kind of this little tube, and it's got a 3D holographic image inside. Normally, that's this Ava, which is just like an energy pulse.
Razer logo.
Or Kira, which is an anime girl wearing
something.
Wearing like these little
so it's cat like a Zenless Zone Zero character.
These cat ear headphones. You can also have Zane, who's like a guy.
Big man.
Faker, who's actually an esports player, but I guess they gave him
much smaller than Zane.
Or Sal, who's this like kind of anime business girl woman looking thing.
It says so. And they have little descriptions about them.
Well, so let me quickly describe what this is.
Oh, okay.
So basically, this sits on your desk, and it's got a camera. And so you sit on your desk, and the idea is that in your day-to-day life, it can help you with like organizing just your general tasks. Like you slept well, or maybe you should wear this today. At work, it can help you with like your work-related tasks, organization, project management, and then when you're gaming later at night in your gaming dungeon, it can, I guess, see your gameplay because it's connected to your computer or something. I don't know. And offer insights, weapon loadouts, performance review. Maybe you should shoot more here or whatever. And so you get to pick a different companion, one of these, kind of different avatars. And so, yeah, it's for life, work, and play. So.
Life, work, and play, you say.
So what do you think, Alec? Tell me what you think of, Project Ava.
It was only a matter of time before we got into the 3D hologram AI girlfriends.
Yeah.
I didn't think Razer would be one of the first ones to the punch, but I guess I'm not too surprised. Oh, man. It's hard to...
I mean, would you use this? I don't know how much... They don't have a price.
Why are you asking me that question?
It's a podcast. We got to discuss.
Yeah, but it's anyone who's watched knows that there's absolutely no way in hell I would take a single dollar I've earned and purchase an AI product like this.
Yeah, all right. To cut the bullshit, I'll say this. This reminds me of that Hatsune Miku hologram thing we've seen in Japan or whatever. It just had to be an anime girl with the cat ear headphones thing, and there's a certain type of person that this is just very clearly for, and I don't know, I would feel so strange having this. I guess I would just feel bad. This is just on my desk, and it's it's watching me, which is creepy, talking to me, and I guess organizing my life, and helping me with games. It feels so lonely, such a lonely existence.
But there are people who are that lonely, and for them, a product like this is a godsend. I would endeavor to just, better my living situation where I don't feel the need to have a fake friend or girlfriend, but I'm not everybody. And this is such a ridiculous product. Mm-hmm. Because one, it's Razer. So even if this was a very good version of an AI companion, which it might not be, because I don't think Razer's even delved into the AI space like that up until now, it's going to be marked up to hell and back because that's Razer's MO.
So you can actually put down a $20 deposit because they claim that it is going to be coming out in the second half of 2026.
So what? Is a $20 deposit? So what is that going to be?
It's probably going to be $300-400
10% of the price?
I think that's a generous
That's probably
estimate.
generous, yeah.
You might be wondering, Alec, what technology powers Project Ava's voice and personality? Well, guess what powers it? Just take a guess.
I don't know. Grok?
Yeah. It utilizes xAI's Grok engine because, that's so trustworthy based on the last story that we just read.
What's his name? Zane, take off your shirt.
Or take off mine.
Can Zane take your shirt off?
It can generate an image. Who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah, to demonstrate its sophisticated reasoning and dynamic personality. Also, it connects to your Windows PC via USB Type-C cable and ensures a high bandwidth data transfer required for PC vision mode, where it will analyze the screen content with minimal latency. So I thought that's kind of interesting. I guess you can see what's on your screen, so that's how it's going to help you with your games and your work. They claim that it's not considered cheating, so it doesn't automate any gameplay. It just works as a coach and trainer in your online games.
All right. So I did some research.
Okay.
Because they had descriptions for all the little characters that you can have, but descriptions got shorter and shorter as you went.
Yeah.
I saw Faker. It says, take guidance from the GOAT to create your own esports legacy. I'm okay, we've all heard of Faker. Then there's SAO, or SAO, connect on a personal level with an idol that's captured hearts everywhere. And I was like, is that a person? So I did some searching.
Okay.
So, this is SAO on Twitter.
Oh, that's a real person?
Oh, you
Or is
think,
it an AI account? What is
that? While I am not 1,000,000% sure, I think SAO is an AI Twitter account.
It probably is.
Then again, there's a picture of SAO with Shaq, and so now I'm confused.
Maybe it's AI.
Let me count our fingers.
the Kusa say. Let me see the picture.
Sketch.
Interesting.
I mean, it seems like even if it is AI, it's a very popular Twitter account, and I'm wondering if like that's just like they're using Grok, which means they're working with Twitter. Which
see in this picture, this girl, who's the girl? What's the girl's name? Kira. In this picture, she's wearing like just an oversized shirt.
Oh, they can change their clothes.
See, which to me suggests, I guess, that they can like change their outfits and clothes, which makes this feel even like weirder and like not healthy. Like, and it's someone's gonna maybe mod it. You know what I mean? Like,
it's open source because everything with AI is to some degree.
So yeah, this is Project Ava. You know, I'll be looking forward to hearing your review of it when you get yours.
I will never buy something like this, and you know, because this is not for me. And as once again, I just don't think people should be trying to form parasocial relationships with.
They describe it as a friend
people.
For life. That's their
until
words.
Its battery.
Because basically,
dies.
like, this thing, there's so much data it's also gathering too. Like, it's like looking at your computer screen the whole time, and it also has a camera looking at you.
We pretend to be so obsessed with our own privacy, but that's only when that's the privacy we can perceive. The data that you put out into the world is way more important than like your last text message. But here we are, we load up our spaces with as many sensors and cameras as we possibly can. And then it's the kind that are supposed to be on 24/7.
Well, listen, Alec. Nvidia's CEO has something to say to you. Nvidia CEO says everyone should stop being so negative about AI.
No.
What? Yes, he says.
What's the name of the CEO?
So here's what he's got to say. Commander of multi-trillion-dollar computing hardware empire Jensen Huang.
Fuck Jensen Huang.
Everyone should stop being so negative about AI and all the ways it could potentially upend civilization because it's, quote, a doomer narrative that's, quote, not helpful to society, TechSpot reports. He made these remarks during a recent episode of the No Priors podcast. There's another podcast on the internet? Could have fooled me. In which he more or less dismissed dire predictions for AI's future. Here's what he says. I think we've done a lot of damage with very well-respected people who have painted a doomer narrative, end-of-the-world narrative, science fiction narrative. And I appreciate that many of us grew up and enjoyed science fiction, but it's not helpful. It's not helpful to people. It's not helpful to the industry. It's not helpful to my pockets. I added that part in. It's not helpful to society. It's not helpful to the governments. Doomer messages causes policy, and that policy may affect the industry in some way, he added. That's right, Alec. If we fear AI, they might make policy to regulate it, and that would affect him.
That's the point. No industry goes unregulated.
It's too simplistic to say that everything that the doomers are saying is irrelevant. That's not true. A lot of very sensible things are being said, he added, neglecting to provide any examples. So, Nvidia, by the way, the company that is profiting the hardest off of this whole AI thing.
Nvidia gave up on gamers.
Yeah, they've stopped making certain GPUs. The price of GPUs are too high. RAMs is really high. Like,
I used to be a fan.
So he's saying that you need to stop, Alec. You need to be a little more optimistic about this AI stuff.
No.
Get it together.
I'm literally the person that message won't
Well, you're
work
costing
for.
him money. So quit.
Good. Now give it to me.
Yeah, that's right. No, it's also interesting when these tech oligarchs are just like, guys, please stop saying things that might get my product regulated.
He's doing what a lot of people have done in the last like few years, especially when it comes to AI, but other things too. What's his name again? Jensen Huang.
Yeah. Jensen
is taking a piss on us and then telling us it's rain.
It's very I do, I hate to use this word all the time, but it's very gaslighty.
That's exactly it's very, what it is.
You don't Alec, stop being so negative. You just don't know what you're really talking about.
It's like dealing crack and then telling people, one, that it's not crack, or two, that it's good for you.
Yeah. It's very interesting because like he doesn't really like he's just like, everybody's being so doomer about this and that's not really good. Like some of them might have some decent points. Okay, like what? Are you gonna say any of the decent points? Apparently he didn't have any. And it's just I don't know. When I hear these people, they seem so dissociated from reality at some point. Like
because they all know the time value of money. $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. So make your money right now. Who cares what it looks like in 10 years? That dollar today is still worth a full dollar.
There was this interesting, I don't know if you've been kind of like following the prices of like RAM and other PC parts has been like going up a bunch because of the whole AI industry.
That's why I can't upgrade.
Yeah. So there's actually this theory that people have that basically they're kind of trying to make local computing impossible for people in the future. So basically the idea being like, if you can't buy memory and you can't buy a GPU, and just the general availability or price of PC parts is out of your reach, then in theory, what they can sell to you is a completely cloud computing system where you don't even have local storage, none at all. Like everything is stored on the cloud. All of your programs are subscriptions. Like all of your data is you have to kind of like log in to access anything. And therefore, we will now have more control over your data, your privacy, like the services that you use, anything.
I mean, there's multiple science fiction works that are very similar to that because they were made before we saw where like physical digital storage was going, and people posited the idea of everything just being cloud based. Actually, I could think of another one anime. Psychopaths is kind of like that.
Oh, very much.
Where they don't really there were computers in like the police station, but for the most part, regular people everything they had was seemingly cloud based. Everything was like a hologram to that degree too. But that's the world they would like us to be in, having 100% control over all data, and then all the hardware just has to go to their hardware. They don't have to worry about consumer sales, and then when it comes to upgrade, like pushing people to get upgrades, and you have to because the cloud is no longer compatible with your internet bracelet thing, and you have to buy your new bracelet so you can access the cloud, which has all of your data in it. I hate that they tell us you shouldn't worry about these little dystopian science fiction stories. It's all fiction. It's not real. And then they push us towards those very images and like stories with literally no safeguards in place.
Yeah, it's funny because, while he's sitting here saying like, AI is not that bad, stop being so doomer about it, Grok's taking off people's clothes. So it's just kind of like, that's just clearly not the case. Like, we are watching in real time as it violates people, and then you're just sort of like, well, like, yeah, but you guys need to stop being so mean. And it's like okay,
progress doesn't like justify reckless abandon. Airplanes are incredibly useful. They've progressed us to lengths we can't even really define, right?
Yeah, of course.
But there are very few governments in the world that just let you like fly from like North America to like Europe without any like security checks, safety checks. Like, it's still important that airplanes are safe, and so we're quite diligent about making sure they're safe, even if that slows down progress some.
Yeah, you have to
unless
have
it's
some
Boeing,
safety.
because then we watch our federal government flip on that. But other than that,
well, I think that's a great place to end it. I did not grab any viewer questions because I was kind of sick and delirious, so we'll get back to them next week. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this first week back.
we did it, Paul.
We made it.
We did it. The year can finally start.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm suffering here. So we apologize again. I know we don't sound our best, but
mucky.
Next week, hopefully, we will be back to normal.
Full power.
Regular schedule. It'll be great. All right. Well, cool. Thank you guys again. hopefully you have a great rest of your week.
We'll see you guys in the next one. Pass turn.